Alright, in this video we're going to talk about some of the updates that have happened to the mod. So to begin, we're going to go to our options, controls, and we're going to scroll down until we get to AH-64D official input. This here is now where you're going to map all of your flight controls. We are no longer using the default ARMA keybinds for that. We have our own custom set, and we did this so that we can have a little bit finer control over the input handling for the flight model. Yep, so you set all this stuff up. This is exactly what it says. If you are using a joystick, set it up for the HOTAS, and if you are using the keyboard or mouse, then use keyboard collective up and down here. Another really important key that you want to have bound is going to be this sticky control input, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. Now we're going to go to the add-on options. I've actually disabled my HOTAS for now, just so I can do this demonstration. So the options that I will typically fly with and recommend you fly with is going to be the sticky pitch, sticky roll, and have the keyboard auto pedal on. This is if you are super new to helicopters, or if you just don't have pedals and you don't want to use pedals, or you're not going to buy pedals, or whatever the case may be. This means right here that the pedals will automatically make inputs for you and maintain aircraft directional control. If you are using the mouse as a joystick, make sure that you select this option here, because what this will do is this will tell the flight model that you're using the mouse as a joystick, and that whenever you use sticky, or not sticky inputs, but whenever you use free look, it will actually disable inputs from the mouse to the flight model so that you can free look without problems. The other thing that we added here is this FM debugging, which is what all of this information is over there on the right hand side of my display. Very important. If you're having issues with the flight model, or you think you're having issues with the flight model, make sure that you have that FM debugging enabled so that we can see what's going on, so when you record a video we can better troubleshoot what's going on. Alright, so everything's good here. We're all set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the helicopter up to a hover using the keyboard. So we're going to hold the shift key down. That's going to bring the power in. As I do that, I'm going to actually go tap, tap, tap on the left cyclic just a little bit. You can see that I've put a little input in there. And maybe just a little bit forward so that as I come up, I'll pick up level. So I'll just bring in a little bit more there. All right, I need a little bit. I had too much in, so now I need to tap a little bit aft, a little bit right, a little bit left, a little bit forward, right, forward. There we go. Now what I'm doing with the sticky input here is I'm actually physically moving the cyclic for the helicopter whenever I'm doing these sticky inputs. Okay, that's just kind of the way the flight model works. You're moving a physical stick incrementally with sticky inputs. That's how they're designed to do. They're designed to be tapped, not pressed. You don't press and hold them. That's really important there. Bring it a little bit more collected, just climb, a little bit more right cyclic, aft cyclic. Now, if you need uninhibited control, that's where the sticky input or sticky interrupt comes in. I'm going to press control, and now I'm going to press forward cyclic. Notice that the aircraft just responds immediately to my inputs. This allows you to do those fine-tuned controls as you're flying. Just help the sticky, or help the auto pedal out a little bit there. All right, there we go. Alright, once I get the aircraft transition into forward flight, I'll let go of that and then tap, tap, tap to establish a little bit more forward cyclic. Tap, tap, tap to clean up the roll a little bit, and then I'm going to decrease the power. I have to put in a little bit of aft cyclic. So I'll just tap, 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 tap. Alright, there we go. And we're flying. Aircraft is holding everything just fine. I can also bring down the hold modes if I want. I don't have those bound on my keyboard right now, so I'm not going to bother with that. So now I'm going to press and hold the sticky interrupt, and I'm going to do a turn. Alright, there we are. Release the sticky interrupt, and then go back to fine-tuning my inputs here. A little slow. We'll let that get back to 90 knot attitude, bring in a little bit of collective. Alright, this is probably good enough. Sticky interrupt. Gonna reduce the collective a little bit, start a descent. A little bit more. Need to get a little bit slower. There we go. A little bit of power. Slowing it back. A little bit more power. Still slowing back. Still have the sticky interrupt held. Alright, going through ETL. Getting the aircraft slowed down. Alright, now I'm back to... Now sticky interrupt is released. Terminate to the hover. Bring a little power out. Press and hold the sticky interrupt just to help. And put the aircraft on the ground. Alright, so that is how the sticky interrupt is meant to operate, right? Because again, the flight model depends on where the cyclic is and all that kind of stuff, and you're directing the actual thrust of the rotor system with the cyclic. So it's a little bit different method of flight. I'm a little rusty on it, because obviously I do fly with a HOTAS and all that kind of stuff. Now, if I go here, let me just do this. We'll go here, controls. Let's go like this, that. Okay, and then we got to go to add-on options. We got to make sure that we turn these off. I'll keep the auto pedal on. Mouse is joystick. That's fine. All right, cool. So now what I'll do is I've got my, we'll go free look. Actually, just to be sure that track IR isn't doing anything weird here, we'll go to controls and I'll disable that real quick. There we go. So I'm in free look. No inputs are being made to the flight model. So now I'll come out of free look. Notice that now the flight model is responding to inputs. I'm going to look down just a little bit here and I'll start bringing in the collective. And there we go. So there we go. Now I can go free look and I can look around. No inputs are being made. I definitely recommend you put the hold modes on before you do that, so that way the aircraft will remain nice and stable. But here I am using the mouse now to fly the aircraft. In addition to that, when we go in here to the add-on options, if you want to adjust the sensitivity of the mouse, you can do that here. So if this is too sensitive for you, you can dial it back so it's a little less sensitive for you. And that also requires that mouse's joystick is selected as well. Alright, and away we go. Alright, hope this video is helpful.